And there's a great danger of when you have an us versus them mentality in your religion, in your political beliefs, you create an environment where your performance determines everything. And there are many denominations of Christianity, major and minor denominations, that view getting any medical assistance, from going to the ER, life-saving medicine, mental health conditions, should not be talked to by a physician. And this is very dangerous. Even if you're a Christian and you believe God created medicine and doctors to help people, there are still people out there that believe that if a medical profession does not have your religious beliefs, you're not to go near it. I mean, how many centuries are we behind and held back due to religion? How many inventions have the world not created because of the us versus them mentality? We have created systems and religions where you either believe the way we do or you're the enemy. And this is so prevalent. It's everywhere. My own family, none of my family will ever get psychiatric help because they honestly believe that the doctrine of psychology and psychiatry goes against the Bible. And this is as dangerous as a therapist using their religion as an agenda. My own sister believes that I was converted to atheism because I went to therapy. Good legal and medical therapy is not about someone having an agenda. Any therapist who brings their beliefs into a session to convert someone or to get people to do biblical behavior is not a therapist. They're a pastor. They're trying to evangelize people. Therapy is not about getting someone to do what you want. It's about developing boundaries, understanding what you want, and creating a journey to get what you want, provided what you want is a healthy thing. And if along the way you realize that the relationships in your life are toxic, or the person you're with is a narcissist, is a benefit. And that's why I don't like religious counseling. Because if your religion teaches people something that is not medically factual, or perhaps is harmful, like gay conversion therapy, you've just broken the basic ethics of mental health assistance. When I'm a therapist, I'm not one that listens to people. I'm more of someone who's a bodywork therapist. My ethics do not permit me to evangelize people or to get people to do what I want them to do. It's unethical. It's malpractice. That's why I will not go to a religious counselor, because very few religious counselors have the credentials that doctors of psychology or psychiatry have. Most pastors do not have degrees and diplomas in psychology. Their majority and their degrees are usually under theology. Now, there are famous Christians like Dr. James Dobson that were doctors of psychology. And we see how that went. He wrote books about beating your kids. And I will always go to secular, non-religious people for medical treatment, because I know that religious beliefs, biases, and agendas can hurt or harm people. It shouldn't, but it does. What if the person the religious counselor is seeing wants to leave an abusive relationship, and the counselor is in a denomination that does not believe in divorce, or doesn't see physical violence as a godly reason for divorce? What if the woman in question is being verbally abused, but she's in no danger? Do you honestly think that all religious counselors are going to 100% of the time tell the woman to leave? We know that won't happen. I think in 2025, people are more likely to tell you to leave, but it hasn't always been like that. And there are some denominations that believe that even with adultery, you should not leave. When you cloud medical science with religion, you may or may not have a successful outcome. And that's why it's important to go to secular people, because it can be life-threatening. There are women who stay in abusive homes, who stay married to narcissistic, malignant narcissists, because their pastor told them they have no biblical reasons to leave. Even though someone should not have to put their hands on you, verbally and emotionally tear you down every day for you to leave. If you're not an equal, loved partner, you can leave. You don't need a biblical reason to leave. And it's sad how women sacrifice their safety and their good mental health because some white man in his 50s decides you don't have a biblical reason to divorce. Even though in the Bible, most of the biblical divorces ended with having stones thrown at you. And there was polygamy. Yeah, biblical marriage is polygamy. And just because the ancient Jews did something and God said it was okay, doesn't mean it's okay. God commanded the ancient Jews to commit genocide and mass rape. That does not mean it's acceptable. We really should not be taking any way. We should not be looking at anything written 2,000 years ago as a manual for morality, when most of the crimes we have, like laws that hopefully prevent most crimes, didn't exist back then. And it's just a terrible, terrible way to live, believing, oh, I have to follow a book that was written before anatomy was even understood.